Hey there, this is Anand from Flytrap Music, and I'm here today to talk to you about something that I'm very excited about, SampleTank 3. I've had the pleasure of been playing around with this for the last week or so and learning the ins and outs, and today I just want to show you a little bit about what's new and what I'm excited about. So first of all, for anybody who's seen or used SampleTank 1 or 2, it's been around for kind of a long time. It's been around for I think over 10 years. Anyway, SampleTank 3, the window we're looking at right now, is a little bit familiar, although it's got a much more modern look to it, and they've made some subtle changes that I find to be much easier to work with. But the bigger thing is that they've actually added 2 new windows, which I'm going to show you right now. So first of all, this one looks pretty similar. You can see I've got a couple kits loaded up here, and one of my favorite things about SampleTank is how you can easily layer sounds, and definitely in the world of big pop records, and that's a lot of the stuff I do, you need sounds to be big, and you can't always get that with 1 kit or 2 kits or 1 synth, so it's really important to be able to layer, and that's something that SampleTank's always been good at, but the new interface has made it a lot easier. So check this out. So you can see right there we've got these 3 kits, and in the past versions of SampleTanks you'd have to use these little sliders and whatever, it worked, but one of the biggest improvements in the new SampleTank is this mix window. This did not exist before, but check it out, it's a mixer. And now for those 3 kits, I've got faders. So it's much easier to see, and maybe you want to try that alt rock kit. Maybe we don't want to have, wow, that pop kit, I've got a little distortion on that, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but that gives it some punch. And then the brush kit I was using to give a little top end. And speaking of the brush kit, the sounds in SampleTank 3 are definitely, they've paid a lot of attention. Some of the names are similar, but they've obviously gone deeper with the sounds. So the next and probably important thing, or thing that I'm the most excited about too, in addition to the mix window, is you can see this looks like the inserts on any of your digital workstations, Pro Tools, Logic, whatever, but they've given you access to all of the amplitude stuff, or a lot of the amplitude stuff, and the T-Racks. So if you want to put an LA2A on your brush kit, there it is right there. Now for me, I don't even have the LA2A and T-Racks, but now I've got that, I've got access to that here, so that is very exciting. You've got all the great modulations, the reverbs, a tape delay. I mean, that's awesome right there. So that's pretty huge. And then if you want to put, like I had already gone here and put an LA2A across the bus, I mean, immediately that's going to make your layered sounds bigger, and you can do all of this right within the plugin window. So that's huge. And the last window that in the old, I had to go back and look at SampleTank 2, but these were all little tabs that you had to click and get access to low LFOs and envelopes. Well, they've made it a lot easier with this version. It's all in one window. Now, probably most of us don't even get that deep into all these sounds, but if you need to, it's all right here. It's been made really easily. And what I really like is they've made it easy to not have to skip even back and forth between these 3 windows. If you're fooling around with the envelopes or something, you can change your volumes from right here for that kit, and then you've also got access to those sounds again. So maybe that echoes too much, maybe I want to try a vibe. It's probably not as noticeable on the drums, but let's put some heavy distortion on this. Yeah, so you can do it all from right here, and then you have control over it. So it's really pretty incredible. Now let's go in and dig into some sounds. Okay, so let's take some of these sounds and let's just do a little simple track here to give you an idea. So just the way that I work, I've loaded up 3 instances of SampleTank, one for drums, one for bass, and one for keys. So here's my drum patch. I really like there's some thick, badass EDM kind of drum sounds, EDM1, and I'm just going to use that to start. Okay, real punchy, nice sounds. So let's try something on keys. I just for the keyboards, I was just playing around. I've got like a, let's see, what do we load up? Let's try that one more time, right? But you get the idea, the real nice, deep sound. Okay. Kind of dark, I'm not sure what kind of track this is, but a big fat bass. Okay, so here's another thing that I love about SampleTank 3. As you probably noticed in the last track, I'm not the world's greatest keyboard player, but sometimes I have ideas or sometimes you just need something to get you going. So they have pattern mode, which is right up here. You see it next to instrument. And what this gives you is it gives you some MIDI patterns that you can feed in and tweak based on the sounds that you've got. So I really like the sound I had. What was I playing? But I don't know, what I had played before was okay. With these patterns, they let you load in different arpeggios or different for each instrument. There are guitar loops, arpeggios, so it's really pretty amazing, and I know that it's kind of like having loops that you can customize and tweak and quantize if you need to. So in this case, here's what it sounds like. And if you've got it set here, it's locking to the tempo of the track from Logic for me. Okay, so those are just some of the real key features and some of the newest things that I'm excited about. And I will show you one more thing, because of course we could talk, SampleTank 3 is very deep. We could talk for hours about all the different things. But one of the things that I was worried about, and honestly one of the main reasons I wanted to get the upgrade to SampleTank 3, is because of all the other libraries I have, Sample Moog, Sampletron, Sonic Synth, Miroslav, and when I upgraded to 64-bit I wasn't able to use those, so that was very important to me. And it's actually been pretty easy. They import pretty easily into SampleTank. There's a little button down here and you do import legacy instruments. Now I had seen other videos online explaining how to do this, but it was a little bit challenging for me in knowing where everything lived, and I'm on a Mac. I'm sure if you're on Windows it's a little bit different, but it was a little tricky for me, remembering where everything is, and then I also had something tricky where I saw Miroslav here, but then I saw that the instruments folder installed to a different place. So if you got SampleTank 3 going and you're you see how to do the import, but you're still having problems, it took me a while to dig around through all the file structures and figure out where everything is. But once I was able to do that, I imported those libraries in, and then they show up right down here under imported instruments. And I haven't even pulled all of mine in, but here's Sample Moog, here's Miroslav, and then they show up just as they always did. So it's pretty great. And yeah, SampleTank 3, I'm certainly impressed with all of the things that have been put into this. They've obviously spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort into bringing this up to the current generation. So go get it. Have fun.